Thanks, Mike. Thanks, everybody else, for being here. You think a month ago where we were at, and not sure if we're going to play in the spring and everything that was going on. So it's 9 days now till we get to kick the ball off, get to play the game we love. Proud of our group as far as how their attitude and what we've accomplished to this point. We still, you've got to clean things up all the time, but, a new offense, we got to get through some of the things with that. And as coordinators on both sides, we got to do, it's not what we know, but it's what they know, and where we can play physical and fast.
Hey, Brady, when you did the walkthrough and the scrimmage in Carson, pretty cool stadium, but will it be a weird environment not to have fans in the stands when you start playing for real?
Well, I think it will be, Lee. I think the one thing about it, we practice and compete around here, and we don't have any fans, so we'll kind of feed off of that and bring our own energy to the football game.
Coach, what about Carson made him stand out above the rest?
Well, I think he really had, he had a good camp. I think he picked up the nuances to the offense, highly competitive, did a lot of good things. Obviously, the other guys all have things that they did real well also, but we just felt that he was the guy to lead us and to start us off.
Brady, can you describe who will be the backup and how the other things will fall into place?
Well, Lucas will be the backup, and we still are waiting to decide who'd be the first running back. I think Greg Bell's done a nice job. Chance has done a nice job. All those guys, Kagan, have done a nice job of competing. They all have things they do well. Bird does a lot of things well. So as we move forward, we got after it pretty good yesterday. The next 3 days we'll temper down just a little bit, but we want to keep our timing of what we're doing. But I think we've got a lot of options and a lot of good options.
With Lucas, will there be some packages for him that he would possibly come into the first game anyway, or will you stay with Carson throughout? How will that shake
Well, I think, there's always that possibility. Number one, I think, he'll heal up pretty good. He feels better. And also, I think he does give us something in some sort of package with him running the football and, the quarterback counterplay, a lot of different things that we can do that he does very well.
And is Lucas good to go right now, or he will be by game time?
Yeah, by game time for sure. I mean, we took some reps away from him from throwing the ball, just to let that thing settle down a little bit.
Hey, Coach, a couple weeks ago, you just kind of get back going with fall camp. Now it's almost game week. So how does the preparation for this game week kind of change as opposed to years prior?
Well, we're still virtually meeting most of the time. We're going to be able to get some actual meetings because we have some space in Fowler to be able to do that, and Peterson Gym. So as we move forward, we'll get a little bit more of that, which will make it more normal. Because right now, Zoom is, I think it's a fine way to learn, but I wouldn't want to have to learn that way. So the guys have done a nice job. They've stayed together. They've done a nice job. We were able to obviously get most of the offense and defense in, catching up a little bit with some on it, but like I said, at the same time, we got to do what we do well, and what we do well, what the players do well. So that's what we're looking to.
And then just another quick question, unrelated, but a few weeks back, Dwayne Johnson Jr. started GoFundMe, assisting lower income families with getting them technology, Wi-Fi, things like that, to assist them with virtual learning. So knowing that and knowing the kind of person that he is, what does that say about him?
Well, you know, he's one of the guys who's a terrific leader on our football team. And, you know, he's a good player also, and he's productive in that part of it. So he has earned a lot of respect from the guys on this team and a lot of respect from the guys who are coaching him. So, you know, he's a wonderful individual. He is a wonderful football player. I'm glad he's here. And he just doesn't surprise me, and doesn't surprise me that his influence is so important on our team.
Hey, Brady, I asked Carson this question also. The fact that you had a fractured spring practice, but then you got back at it fairly early, at least academically, learning curves, Zoom meetings forever and ever and ever. Do you think that this is a beneficial camp because your guys have just been consuming the playbook almost since spring ball, now even with the delay of the start of the season? Is there a benefit to that, even though it's not football, hitting and tackling?
Well, I think, you know, obviously we're going to feel it's a benefit. I mean, from the Zoom meetings and all those, you know, different things that we did during the spring to the summer and now getting back at it. But it's still not, you know, the teaching and learning on the field, in the classroom, and playing the game. And that's what we've done the last 2 weeks is we've gone out and played the game and really worked on the fundamentals of tackling and blocking and the special teams, because I think they're always critical in first games. And so we've put a lot into those areas, and I think it's paid off so far.
A follow-up question, as you've gone through the testing program with all these players, and yet you see all the precautions taken and what happened in Alabama, what just happened today at Ole Miss. How scared are you that there's going to be an outbreak that is beyond your control?
Well, you're always worried about that, and we try and communicate about accountability, about making great decisions, and you know, staying together in their little bubbles. And, you know, as coaches, we've done the same thing. So it's one of those things that we're all very vigilant about, and we're going to stay that way, and we're going to hopefully be able to get through this thing.
Coach, were there any surprises the last couple of weeks in guys who stepped up, maybe freshmen or other newcomers to earn starting positions? Anybody of note?
No, you know, I don't think we'll have any freshmen starting, you know, for us. But, you know, there's some guys, and, you know, for me to say one, I would probably forget somebody, and they'd see it in the paper, and their parents would get mad. So, but there's some good freshmen. I think it's a talented class. I think the one thing that you know from what's gone on, Hacksaw, kind of like what you just talked about, you know, you've got to be ready to play some young guys because of, you know, we do get hit with some kind of virus, you know, the virus and pandemic. And so you've got to have everybody ready to step in. And I think that's one of the things that is the most work that we've tried to do is make sure we're giving reps to those guys.
A lot of skill coming back on offense. So I think maybe the biggest questions are on the offensive line. How do you think that's setting up now?
You know, I think, Kirk, they're playing very, I would say, inspired. I like how the leadership that Kyle Spalding and Zach have come every day and given to us every day. You know, Dom being there every day, I think it's all been very good for us.
And on defense, that seems like the biggest area of note might be the linebacker core. How is that coming along?
It's coming along. I think that is one of the positions that, you know, I think our first group is a real solid group. I think the second group is one that we got to keep coming and working with. But, you know, overall, you know, it's a group that's been very physical in practice, in scrimmages, and a group that's busted their butts to the football.
And last question, what's the biggest challenge coming into the UNLV game, especially given the unusual circumstances this year?
Well, I think some of it, you're assuming, and you know what that does. You're assuming it's going to be Oregon's offense totally, Stanford's defense because of the hires and the coordinators, and so that's been a lot of it, and trying to get our guys. And today was the first day that we really started on UNLV, but get them accustomed what they do.
Hey, Coach, just going back to Carson for a bit. I know you said the announcement wasn't like a huge thing. You just kind of pulled him aside and let him know he was a starter. But have you been able to gauge any reaction from the team on what they think about the decision?
Well, I think this team has always, had a really good feeling about Carson. I mean, he came in the BYU game, started the game, did a great job last year. I think he earned a ton of respect. I think his mannerisms and his leadership, which is always you look for from that position, I think he has shown that, Lewis. And I think the other thing, that you look at is just his command of where he's at right now, and it's been really, really good.